It's here. It's finally time. We're talking about the Super Bowl, props, DFS, a little bit of news, and of course, some football food. Let's go. Yo! What's happening, everybody? Brian and Brennan back for another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. And of course, how are we doing today, man?
No, just getting ready for this wonderful Super Bowl Sunday, looking at all my bets to make sure they hit. Of course, betting on the Chiefs, the most important one of all.
Hey, I sure hope so. I followed you with the Ravens, and man, that one hurt.
That one hurt.
But you know what, folks? We're bouncing back with this one. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're diving into just overall impressions of the game. Like I said, some DFS stuff, some props, maybe share some football delights there. Because you know what? I tell everybody, this is my Thanksgiving. I go all out, legitimately cook all freaking day for the Super Bowl. I absolutely love it. But you ready to get into some news?
Let's do it.
Let's start at the top here. It's been a bit. We haven't recapped. We'll do a full episode on all the coaching changes, really get more detailed here. But Ben Johnson and the Bears, that's probably got to be the most exciting one here. First reactions to it.
Really excited, honestly. I think everyone's, excited to see what they can do with Caleb, Rome, DJ Moore. I think we both expect them to make a move at running back because I think we both agree that DeAndre Swift isn't the answer. So
Ben
I
Johnson's
think
had
this is
him
really big news
before.
for Rome. Yeah. I like this really. This is big news for Rome and Caleb, though, I feel like.
And the addition of Calvin Johnson as the wide receiver coach, too. Like, love
I
to see
completely
what's.
forgot about that.
Yes, I think he's just an assistant wide receiver coach, but this will be his first dabbling into that realm. So, of course, a rival team to the Lions. Oh, it's something great to see there.
Yeah.
We've got Cohen, all the drama back and forth with the Jags and Tampa. It's still rolling on here with them trying to get interviews of other stuff. But Cohen to the Jags, I'm excited. I'm pretty excited about this one.
It was really weird. He was interviewing for the job, didn't want the job because of Trent Baalke. They fired Trent Baalke, and then he goes. Then the Buccaneers are going to make him one of the highest paid offensive coordinators. Then he goes back to the interview, and he gets the job. And then he has the weirdest press conference of all time.
You can't knock the guy for, I've seen all these like loyalty things, this, and that. Hey, Luka knows all about loyalty, after the NBA trade there. So I don't think that these guys have to be loyal. Go get your bag, go get your money. And hell, getting Balky out of there, that would have changed. I'm sure most of the people,
Yeah.
the candidates, would have looked at the Jags more seriously had Balky been out of there. So no, I don't blame him. I think the Jags pulled the trigger, got the right thing done.
Yeah, and you're a head coach in the NFL. You're one of the 32 people to ever do that. So, I don't blame him.
Well, one of probably like 50 people do it for the Jags. But, that's not, it's tarnishing it a bit. Pete Carroll to the Raiders, bringing in Chip Kelly as his OC. I think this is one of the better hires that they could have done.
Yeah, it's just I think he's definitely going to start to build this from the ground up again. This is definitely a slow build. I think people forget Chip Kelly was a really, really good offensive pass coordinator with the Eagles. It's just once he started to get his hands on personnel, that's when it went to shit. But he's a very, very good offensive mind. So I think this will actually be beneficial for the Raiders and Brock Bowers and everything else like that.
Didn't he trade away Jeremy Maclin and LaShawn McCoy?
He traded away LaShawn McCoy for sure. I know LaShawn McCoy is very anti Chip Kelly.
I think this is the hire to go with. You needed somebody that is not a new head coach, because most likely, the Raiders going to be looking for a new head coach in 3 to 4 years when Pete Carroll's ready to call it. You'd think he'd be calling it a career in 3 or 4 years. Like, this guy's so old, but he's got more energy than me, that's for sure.
Dude, these old people just love to do it till the day they die, man.
Right? I can't wait to retire at 42. Are you kidding me? Oh.
Exactly.
Schottenheimer in Dallas. This was anticlimactic. Thoughts? I don't know where to sit here. I want to yell for the Cowboys fans a little bit, but at the same time, maybe this was a decent move.
I don't know how this is a decent move, but Jerry Jones referencing this had the all-time quote. I don't know if I'll say it again. Jerry Jones on fans being upset about the head coach hire. There's a very low percentage of this that it smiles in glory holes. Jerry Jones is the second worst GM in Dallas, but that's still an all-time quote.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I guess saying by like they could have done. I think they just could have done worse. They could have gone out there and trying to swing big for the fences. I I don't think this team's going to get better until Jerry leaves as a GM. So yeah, bring somebody in who's just going to do the bare minimum, get you 10 wins, and that's all
Have you
you can
heard the
expect.
tinfoil hat conspiracies behind this though? Like he's a ladder move. They really want Jason Witten or like Deion Sanders to come in a couple years. Like they're basically like waiting for both of them to either be ready.
I did hear rumors about Jason Witten. I know the talk was there for Sanders, but I guess that's what I thought. Like bringing in Sanders now, I think would be too early and ruin that possibility. Like any prospects of that happening down the road. So I guess that's where I think they could have gotten it worse, is if they would have jumped the gun to try and do something Jerry Jones esque.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett just popped up, trade request. Where does he go? Where would you see him as like a favorite option to go outside of our favorite team?
A team that's willing to pay for what they're asking for, so multiple first round picks and probably a solid player. Like, man, I'm trying to think of like a young. He's chasing a ring, so he's going to be
Yeah,
wanting to go somewhere that's like that they're at least a playoff contender, uh, a team that like would be interesting. The Chargers, because I think they can cut Joey Bosa
Khalil Mack's a free agent.
and Khalil Mack's a free agent. Like they can make that move. Like that could spark some interest for him. I know he's from Texas. I know he begged to go to Dallas right when he was drafted. Remember that whole
Ooh,
thing, but I
him and
wouldn't.
Micah.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know if he would be interested in that because he said he wants to chase for a ring. Like another really fun one would be Buffalo. Like I think Buffalo would be like clampering at this if they could.
I think they've got too much back money in Von Miller. They missed when they swung the fence for that one. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think like the Eagles can't do it. The Chiefs like that would ruin football.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if I mean honestly, Philly, I would take them out of the ring of consideration just because I mean that GM, he does some magical things out there. So
yeah, but I don't know if they have the cap space for him though.
they get rid of Huff. They swap him out for Huff. Honestly, I think they should just trade Deshaun Watson and get Miles Garrett to whoever's willing to take them both. Hey, you can have Miles Garrett for free, but you got to take Deshaun Watson with you, just so they can
Yeah,
get the
right.
freaking money out of
I
there.
think they would never be able to trade him, man. Honestly, I don't. I genuinely believe if they had that as a package deal, they'd just be like, "No, you can keep him."
I'd love to see him on Baltimore, the Steelers, just like on a defense that knows how to use him,
Never
but he
gonna
won't go in
happen.
division.
Never gonna
So
happen in
I've heard
division.
Washington and Chicago rumors. So
Commanders would make Commanders makes a ton of sense actually. Like now that you're saying it, like they have a ton of cap space, can pay him what he wants as a con. He's looking for another $100 million contract,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
and Commanders would definitely do that.
Yeah, I think the remaining money on his contract over the last 2 years is like less than 50 million, which it's not bad for Miles Garrett.
No,
Alrighty, and then finally on the news, we've got speaking of Deshaun Watson, Justin Tucker is popped up in a few troubling situations. So I don't know how many allegations he's up. I saw a few more popped up the other day, so I gotta quit saying
and he's
popped
at
up.
like I think he's at like almost 10 now.
He's coming for Deshaun's number, man. These are not numbers we're trying to beat, but somebody is probably one of a franchise guy, like a guy that would have his jersey up in the banners, up in the rafters for this team. I think he's going to get cut at this point.
Yeah, like I guess this has been like well known since 2021 of these allegations, and they're just now coming to light. So
Hmm.
that's a little odd because like I saw a tweet that said like he's banned from a lot of massage places in Baltimore, and I'm just like that's a little odd.
So is Robert
But
Kraft. Who cares?
yeah, no, I mean, dude was like a shoe in for a Hall of Fame, and just like that, keep your hands to yourself and not wanting your butthole touched.
You're right. Oh boy, Justin Tucker. There he goes. I've got somebody in my league that takes him way too early, first kicker every year. So I can't wait to see
Well,
what happens this year. All right, folks,
gross.
what you came to talk about. Let's get into it. Justin Tucker's stolen enough things. We're not going to steal any more time here. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Uh, I mean, it's a rematch of just a couple years ago. So, how excited are you truly as a non-Eagles Chiefs fan?
I'm excited. I have no animosity towards the Chiefs. Like I'm a Colts fan, so like we're both Colts fans. So, like we have no future to like catch up to Mahomes. Like we're not in this like AFC gauntlet anytime soon. Like I thought we would be. So like I'm rooting for Mahomes. Like I want to see the three-peat. I want to see Tom Brady get the throne taken away from him. Like I think you know someone it is. It's Mahomes. Like and the Eagles like they have been like so up and down all year long, and now they're finally catching that stride. It's just like I still don't know if I believe in Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. So like this is like one of those games where it's like, can you prove me wrong, kind of a thing. So
And this would be I mean, how interesting too. We talk about Patty Mahomes is going to be in that GOAT conversation if he's not already. What did the Eagles do? They were, one of the only teams after the Giants to actually like take down Tom Brady. So for them to be able to come back in here, do it again, to stop Mahomes from the three-peat, I'm rooting for that, just to be able to see that, and I'm rooting for Saquon. But outside of it, I'm right there with you. I don't mind watching the Chiefs do this. This is something you're not supposed to see too often. We're getting generational guys back to back generations, but I think it's fun. I don't mind rooting for Patty. Let's see it happen. It's not going to happen forever. Hopefully.
yeah, I mean, who knows? They could do it for a fourth time if they win again this year.
Oh goodness. But overall, these teams power ranking Chiefs are 1 and 2 for the Chiefs, the Eagles. Defensive ranked Chiefs come in at number 2. Eagles are number 1. Offensive rank you got 11 and 12 respectively. Like this is a well matched team. Eagles, their defense has only gotten better over the years. Chiefs arguably hasn't. I think it's kind of pulled up a little bit on that run game. So does Saquon have a day? Does he absolutely feast on this team?
Um, I think it's gonna be a half. Like either for one half he does it very very well, and the other half they figure it out, or like it's vice versa. Like I don't expect him this entire game to go bananas. Like I do expect him to have one half where he figures it out, and then the other half it's shut down. So I'm very leery on his prop bet. I forgot what it's at right now. I think it's
116 rushing yards.
oh that's a lot of
That's a
yards,
toughie.
dude.
Especially after his 130.
Yeah.
It didn't hit that last time.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna lean the under, but again, like all it takes is one run just to make it really, really close. So
Yeah, if I'm taking the over, I'd probably rather loop in the rushing and receiving combo, just because that chance that he catches one that gives him just that little bit of an edge. But like you
yeah,
said, I think that prediction of just one half is gonna be really good because he's leading the league in 60 plus yard runs. So I don't think we're not going to see a 40 plus yard run in this game. He's going to break something off at some point. But I do think the Chiefs are going to they're going to understand that. They're going to have that locked up a little bit, or at least for a portion of the time.
yeah.
We kind of talked about Jalen Hurts in one of our last couple episodes. Just he's struggling a little bit. He is not wanting to help out as much, except when it comes to that tush push. But if the running defense shows up for the Chiefs, he's going to have to toss the rock a little bit. And is that something you feel confident in? He's at 1.5 passing touchdowns is the over under there. Um, I guess he 17.5 completions. You think he hits that?
Yeah, so it's plus money if you bet the over 1.5 at plus 155. So basically they're saying he's more likely to only throw one passing touchdown. If people his best game ever in his NFL career was the Super Bowl. Like he threw for 5 touchdowns, like I forgot how many yards. He only had that one mistake, which is the fumble by Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton, sorry. I mean, other than that, though, he had a masterclass game. I I expect him to hit the over on 1.5 touchdowns. I this over under thinks at 51 points, so they expect a high scoring game. I'm I still I think he'll get it just because of Kellen Moore's a decent offensive coordinator and plan things open for him, but I think this defense will give him fits though.
I Dude, I go so back and forth. I want to agree with that just wholeheartedly. Like, no, the Chiefs are going to get it under check, but like, do the Eagles pull it off? Do the Eagles freaking pull it off? I don't know. I don't. I like you said, this was his best game last time in the Super Bowl, so it just has me like that little glimmer of like, all right, I'm gonna have a few betting parlays where I do have it. It's a Eagle dominant game.
Yeah, like I think my favorite bets that I'm going to be betting on is Travis Kelsey's over 60. It's already moved up to 62. I got it at 60 yards. It's now at 62 yards. And then the other one is Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith, for whatever reason, gashes Spags. I think he's had like over 6 catches every time, close to 100 yards. He's only at 50 yards at the line right now. So I'm betting him and Devonta Smith in the over.
I like that too. Like you said, I think the running game is going to be locked up for a portion of the game, so I think they will have to lean on the passing game a little bit. I don't mind seeing that. Dallas Goddard, as far as tight ends, Chiefs are the worst against tight ends on the season, so I
Yeah,
don't like betting on Goddard's overs ever. I always get it wrong, so I just kind of avoid him typically. What's your gut reaction on him?
my friends who are kind of casuals towards betting were like in their group chat. They're like, "Oh, I'm betting Dallas Goddard. They're the worst." I'm just like, it makes me want to bet the under right away. When immediately when every casual's talking about Dallas Goddard over easy bet, I want to sway the other way just because it just seems too easy.
That's what it is. That 100%. That's usually why I try to back away from it. Let me just not even touch it. So I'm not. I won't be right, but I definitely won't be wrong on that either. But
Yeah,
some of those kind of things and those conversations pop up where, yeah, you might pull away a little bit. Xavier Worthy, we've seen him just absolutely blossom into this rookie season. It's been great coming off wide receivers 16, 12, 15 finishes in the fantasy playoffs. We had a 85-yard game against Buffalo, 45, 5 and 6 catches in those last two games of the playoffs. Where are you on him this week? He's 6.5. No, I'm sorry, 66 and a half yards is where his line is on receiving.
I'm kind of indifferent with. I think Mahomes is very much when it comes to Super Bowl time and playoff times, I should say, he spreads the ball out. I am very hesitant to bet on the. That's a lot of yards for a rookie wide receiver, and the Eagles do have Quinyon Mitchell. They have a very good secondary. So like, I just I think that like random guys like Noah Gray is someone who's probably going to have some random amount of yards.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things where I lean away from.
Kadarius Toney has scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs. Sky
Exactly.
Moore has scored. I'm pretty sure Mecole Hardman has a touchdown last year. Like
Yep.
I'm putting some touchdown sprinkle bets on the Noah Grays and the
Juju.
Watsons. Juju. I'm not even getting good money on Juju, unfortunately. But
That's what I'm saying though. Like if someone I'm going to bet the over on props, it's going to be those random guys.
and funny enough, DeAndre Hopkins has been just. He's been a
Quiet.
role player for him. He's been
Yeah.
absolutely atrocious. Only one catch so far in the playoffs. His line is 11 and a half yards, 1.5 receptions. I'm taking that 11 and a half yards on him.
Yeah, I'm going
Why?
with the over
Because
on him
he
too.
could be the random dude, the superstar DeAndre. Well, used to be superstar, but like, yeah, give me that as some randomness. Give me that as a touchdown there. He's a big body.
Yeah, no, I like the over on all the guys who like are super low down. Like I'm waiting for like all the extra props to come in. Like I expect like a non-quarterback to throw a passing touchdown in this game. The razzle dazzles will always come out, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
expecting too.
Xavier Worthy, honestly, 6.5 rushing yards is his over. Now you're gonna lose that every now and then because he gets tackled in the backfield and he'll get negative rushing yards and it screws you. But I win this bet more often than not. So yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of the over on his rushing yards.
All right, Gatorade prop bet. What's the color going to be?
It's got to be clear, right? I always just like betting on the clear Gatorade or the
I always
water.
do orange. I do
Orange.
orange. Yeah.
Hey, we've got some good ones this year, folks. If you haven't gone out there and found the random ones like the is it going to be heads or tails? The duration on seconds of national anthem, 120 seconds. Dude, 3 4
I
years
love
ago.
those bets. I love
Yep.
those bets so much.
My wife does too. Those are her most favorite. Like the halftime show, is Taylor Swift going to join in on stage? First song is it Humble?
Oh no, the I like the over under on the national anthem because someone always gets there and records the timing of it and then posts it on Twitter and it gets deleted. You just got to be there right away to find out the pre-recording how long it takes that person to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'll definitely be checking that out. MVP. You've got to vote. You got to bet Patty, right? If you're
It's
betting Chiefs, you got to be
Patty,
betting Patty.
Patty, Hurts, or Barkley would be the only three I'd even like wager any money on.
No Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, like what plus 38,000 to one or something stupid. Yeah, no way. I think his line's at one catch. If he's over unders at one at 0.5 catch.
And see that would be one if he was playing for the Chiefs, I'd be all over it. But at the same time, the Eagles, it's the same three guys, four if you want to add in Saquon Barkley.
Will AJ Brown read a book on the sideline?
How many books? It's over under 1.5 right now. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
I will say so. Gainwell got knocked out of the last game with a concussion. Still listed as questionable as of 3 days ago, but I love taking his rushing and/or rushing receiving line. Hits it pretty often. He is not the guy. It's Barkley, but Barkley needs a break from time to time. So if he's getting spelled like he might be in this one, I definitely like attacking that as well.
Both teams are fairly healthy going into this game, right? Like there's no like real key injuries, correct?
It's the offensive line for the
Yeah, the
Eagles.
Jurgens, Cam Jurgens. I think he's supposed to be healthy though.
Yeah. He got banged up, and then so did
Their backup.
Landon Dickerson. Is that who that is?
I
You
don't
know.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see. I
Um,
thought only person I knew was Cam Jurgens, but he's supposed to be like. I think he seemed to be probable for the Super Bowl.
yeah, it seems like because they had those 2 weeks, both those all the injury guys, because Quinyon Mitchell was also got banged up in that game, so everybody should be relatively healthy. It'll be interesting to kind of see how that works. If Chris Jones though gets some backups on that offensive line,
It's
despite
gonna
him,
be
I
a
think his
nightmare.
first playoff sack was last year in the Super Bowl. Like finally got his first one, but his line is at 1.5 this year for the Super Bowl, and if
You
that
know,
line's banged up, I'm down.
George Karlaftis is now the playoff leading sack leader, like all time. I think
It's because he's probably played what 14 games or
he's something ridiculous. Yeah.
right. Patty's almost got an extra full season in his belt. He's going to turn it into LeBron, just constantly playing the entire like playoff state.
Hey
Oh
man,
man,
can't hate on it.
it's hard not to if you're in the AFC West, I'm sure. As
Yep.
far as other props, I'm trying to think of any other fun ones that I like. Um, First team to score. You got the Chiefs or the Eagles.
I think the Eagles. I think the Chiefs will defer because I think the Eagles call the toss, right? If I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah,
forgot
away.
who's home and
They'll
who's away.
Yeah, they're away.
Yeah, so then yeah, I think the Eagles will score. I think both teams will score first. Like when they both get their possession, they'll both go back to back.
Well, I guess I was gonna say let's do our final scores. We'll do that at the very end. Um, Favorite Super Bowl food, or is there anything special you guys do for Super Bowl food? Any snacks? Any must-haves?
My wife makes jalapeno poppers, so like all my friends like to eat. But there's this pizza place that we all order from called Anthony's. It's like a local place, so like that's what we do. We order pizza, wings, and then so we're not like huge foodies because like the game starts at like 3 o'clock my time, so it's like right after lunch, right before dinner. So you got to kind of have an appetite to eat that. So
Yeah, I'm rocking 6:30 kickoff time. It's almost miserable. Like I'm so burnt out of energy, but come 6:30 because I'm just so jazzed up and ready for the freaking game. Spend all day cooking. It's wild. I like the fun of theming it out a little bit. It's kind of sucked doing Kansas City barbecue for the last 6 years, but we do that. We'll do some Philly cheesesteaks. Buffalo dip's got to be there. Some jalapeno. It's weird how much cream cheese is bought for Super Bowl party. Like the amount of things that cream cheese is put in. It's absolutely wild. It's
I can
disgusting if you ask
imagine. I
my
mean, cream
wife.
cheese using the jalapeno poppers, so that makes sense.
Yeah, buffalo dip. We've got like the bacon ranch dip you got going on. That is just so much stuff you drop it in. But it's once a year. It's once a year.
Fair enough.
All right. So give me that prediction. Who's winning and give me your score.
31-28 Chiefs.
I was going 30-28 Chiefs. Let me get the game winning touchdown by the Chiefs. They're gonna get it in that way. Something wild, little ref action probably.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will score and the Chiefs will have 2 minutes left to counter. And I think Mahomes does his magical march on the field and piss off everybody.
Yeah, he does that.
He does it quite a bit. Yeah, kind of good at it.
Alrighty, folks, we've got to wrap it up. Thanks for coming to hang out with us for our Super Bowl primer. We're pumped to watch it. I'm sure we're going to be all over with social media stuff dropping in from the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Brennan, if people are looking for you, where can they find you?
You can find me on X at FFAMBMilk and then the Fantasy Football Advice Network as well.
It's at Too Much Brian for me, at Too Much _ Brian on Twitter. Come hang out with us on the network. Lots of fun things happening over there. And of course, don't miss, he's letting me do it, folks. I'm bringing in my tinfoil hat. We're going full on wild with our trade predictions for this offseason. Let's get wild. Let's get in the weeds. It's time to do some predictions. So that's what we're going to be doing. Followed up by our True Coachings episode. We'll dive into the head coaches, the OCs. And of course, it's rookie season, baby. We're going to get rolling in the few weeks after that. So the rest of February, we're going to be, talking about all those ex-college players. But until then, we got to get out of here. We'll see y'all later.